Come on in to our incredible Pickleball TV studios. This is another edition of Pickleball Live alongside Matt Manassi, Cameron Blackwood. I'm Steve Weissman. Dave Fleming will be joining us later in the show from Atlanta. If this is your first time watching the show, we will bring you all the best highlights, insight, analysis, and news from the world of pickleball over the next half hour. Quarterfinal Friday is always something special, Cam. And today proved it once again, that doubles match we just saw at the end.
It's my favorite day. I always say that going into tournaments, quarterfinal day, you never know what's going to happen. Sometimes you have a lower seed, they feel like there's no pressure on them, and they end up taking a match. And I don't know, there's just something about it in there. I think the best matches come out on quarterfinals day. I think it slows kind of back down on a semifinals day and then Sunday. But man, quarterfinals day, if you're going to watch any day of pickleball, make sure it's the quarterfinals.
And surprises were there. Lacey Schneemann, Tyson McGuffin, both in men's doubles and mixed in women's. Unbelievable, huge upsets. Look for them in tomorrow's semis to continue that run.
All right, we'll have all those highlights coming up on the show, but we start with the world number one. Anna-Leigh Waters has only lost 3 matches in the last 3 years. Her only defeat this year came against Salome Device in Texas. Waters said, quote, "I underestimated her a little bit too much. She came out ripping balls." Well, Waters got some revenge in the semifinals in Vegas on her way to the title a couple weeks ago. And the best player in the world trying to go back-to-back, Cam. This is a quarterfinal. We had a pickle to start.
Yeah, you can never underestimate Salome Device. She has some of the best ground strokes in the game, but Anna-Leigh Waters came out firing. She said she's feeling really good this tournament, and she did just that, moving across the court very well. And something that she does really well, especially with Salome, is she puts pressure. She puts pressure on the corners, the angles, and she can really change the pace, as you saw there. A little dropper, come on into the kitchen. She knows she's not as comfortable there. But it was a great win by Anna-Leigh. I think she needed that one to move on, because the next 2 opponents on the other side, whether it be Jansen or Paris Todd, is going to be a tough match for her. And so see her there, her mom helping her out with that one, but a great win.
Match of the day in women's singles, new star Caitlin Christian facing one of the OGs in Leah Jansen. Matt, it would go the distance.
Yeah, I was so impressed with both players. Leah Jansen hiring a new strength coach past 10 days. She said she feels more agile on the court, moving great. Caitlin Christian really came back here. Game 2, forced a third. It was neck and neck going down the stretch, but a little too good. Points like these, Caitlin Christian forcing her all over the court, but Jansen, with that new and improved fitness, that mentality, first of all, she never got down on herself. A lot of times from Jansen, you see her get down. She stayed positive and found the corner there at the end.
Jansen going to face Paris Todd in the semifinals on Friday. Let's look at the Final Four. In the CIBC women's singles draw, Waters will face Brooke Buckner. And Paris, the only remaining player, Cam, that has beaten Anna-Leigh Waters, had a 3-game battle earlier this year in Atlanta. What are your thoughts on those remaining matches?
Yeah, well, Buckner has done well only when Anna-Leigh's not in the draw. I don't see her coming out on top on this one, but that bottom one is going to be one to watch. Jansen and Todd, they've gone back and forth. They've beaten each other before, but I'm going to go with my girl P. Todd. I think she has it in the bag. I think mentally she's there. I know Leah Jansen has had some new coaches come in, but I don't think it's solidified into her game and into her repertoire just yet. Todd coming out.
Yeah, before I saw that match today with Leah Jansen, I would have said 100% Paris Todd, but the new mentality, the new agility, I thought the passing shots looked amazing. I think Paris Todd is a different opponent, though.
Yeah.
Has better passing shots than a Caitlin Christian, especially on that backhand side. I don't think the forehand will break down like Caitlin's did a little bit today. Still going to go with your choice, though, Paris Todd.
Jansen said after the match, all these young guns coming in. It's nice to have a little OG matchup between her and Paris Todd. On the men's side, Ben Johns is out, so all eyes are on the top seed. Federico Staksrud, the Argentine, in action today against Gabe Tardio. Matt, Fed said Gabe has like 5 different levels. Level 1, he looks like he started playing pickleball 2 days ago. Level 5, he could be the #1 player in the world, and he brought his A game today.
And that's what we saw from Tardio today. It was business as usual for the first game, and into game 2, you can see Staksrud up 9-3 here. And this is where the magic happened for Gabe Tardio. Built off 8 points in a row to take it to a 3rd game. But when we got to 3, that's when Staksrud really showed his dominance. He got back to what worked well, serving big, moving well, finding the pass here at the end, and it's business as usual. Staksrud moving on to the semis.
Stacks on stacks on stacks. Getting to the Final Four. The top seed will face the winner of this match, Cam. Connor Garnett facing Yates Johnson.
Oh, Yates came out firing here. That's so dangerous when you come to a guy that's come from high-level tennis like Yates Johnson, but his passing shots are great. He can move really well, and that's tough against an opponent like Connor Garnett, who I think is one of the top movers. But an injury happened here in game 2, and as you can see there, I mean, he can barely move, can't really push off that left leg, and was hobbling almost all the way through that game 2. I thought he was honestly going to pull out. He ended up sticking it out, trying to get to game 3, tried to rely on his ground strokes. And in the end, Garnett just being smooth, we're not really going for too much and coming out on top. But a tough one there because he was playing so well. In my opinion, I think without the injury, Yates comes out on top. But good for Garnett, moving on in a tough game.
Yeah, taking a look at the CIBC men's singles draw, you've got your semifinals all set. J.W. Johnson taking on Yates' brother, Hunter Johnson, and then Staksrud against Garnett. When we take a look at that matchup, third time they have played this year, split the previous 2, Matt. What do you expect in that?
Yeah, I think Staksrud's the clear favorite. Obviously, Connor did get him earlier this year in L.A., but judging from the match against Yates, I think he looked a little off. Around the kitchen area, wasn't really set, missed a lot of forehands, missed some serves as well. He cannot do that tomorrow against Staksrud. I'm picking Staksrud as the clear favorite in 2 games.
In 2 games. All right, what do you think about the Johnson v. Johnson?
I think that one is kind of up for grabs here. I think if Hunter comes out and his ground strokes are on, he's taking it all the way. But if J.W. Johnson can bring him in, do a little cat and mouse, his hands are better than Hunter's up at the net. So it's going to say who can execute their game style the best is who's going to come out on top. Now, when it comes to playing Staksrud, I still take Staksrud winning the whole thing.
All right, we'll see what happens as it plays out. Semifinal Saturday, going to be an exciting one in men's singles. How about the mixed doubles in ALW going for another triple crown in women's doubles as we will take a look at the mixed doubles draw. Cam, what stands out to you?
Oh, we have to look at the top one there. Waters, Johns, Johnson, and Johnson. That's a matchup we see almost week in and week out. Waters and Johns usually coming out on top, but it's going to be Georgia Johnson there. That is my key factor. If she has her hands on and she can really test Ben Johns on the backhand side, she sets up her brother. I see it at least going to a game 3. Don't know if they can pull out the win.
We've seen 2 Annalie Waters highlights thus far. Let's get a third in there. Women's
Triple
doubles.
crown, yeah.
Waters, Catherine Parento facing Hurricane Black, Elise Jones. Quick start for the top seeds, Cam.
I expected that. I expected, they've played together before. You have Black and Jones, a little bit of a newer partnership here, but something that is so great about them is they get the balls back. When I was talking to Annalie Waters after this match, she said, you think you've won the point 2, 3, 4 times, and the ball continues to come back. Great hands on the side of Elise Jones and Tyra Black. They can really reset well, and that's what gets so frustrating is you almost make a mistake because you're seeing so much come back. But leave it to the #1 team in the world, which now is 111-1 is their record.
It's a lot of ones.
It is, but they really had their coaches. They have Athena and Lee Waters on the other side. And they said, you know what? Trust your game plan. Trust your game plan.
2 wins from their 12th gold medal this year. How about they haven't lost a game in 43 straight matches? Taking a look at the draw, Callie Smith, Lucy Kovalova into the semis. Matt, you mentioned Lacey Schneemann getting upset in singles. Well, she's in the semis in both mixed and gender doubles. Now is the time in the show when we bring in the voice of pickleball himself, Dave Fleming, joining us live from Atlanta. Dave, a lot to talk about today. It was an exciting quarterfinals Friday. What stood out most to you?
Just the will of Hurricane Tyra Black and Elise Jones. You're like, okay, it's going to be 3-3 again. They're diving all over the place. At one point, I said there must be 5 Elise Joneses out there because she disappears in the frame. She comes back in there, and they were pushed. In fact, AL and CP used both of their timeouts. That never happens, but they do what they do, and they move on. And that is bad news for Lucy and Callie tomorrow, because when they are pushed, the next people pay the price for something they had nothing to do with.
And Dave, we're seeing now so much more. You have Julie Johnson, you have Lee Waters and Athena, but we now have some coaches there, but really the team support on the other side. We saw Paris Todd, her parents there, Hunter there. How important is it for these players now? And we're almost seeing them win because of the team and the coaches, where we really didn't see that in the past.
No doubt. I mean, obviously, you hear a lot of the top tennis players talk about, hey, kudos to my team, thanks to the team. Well, now the margins are so thin. We certainly saw that in that last match, which was crazy, that just one idea might be the difference. One strategic thing that when you're in the flow, and we've all been there, you don't really realize something that maybe they're always missing their backhand dink if you put it on their left foot. You have to have somebody else with some eyes on that. So we're seeing that. And here we've talked a lot about injuries. So having a physio here, that was huge for Ben to be able to get into this match and get through today and play in 2 semifinals tomorrow. A lot of these folks have mental coaches as well. So you've got to have all of that because everybody wants to be here playing on the 20x44. And it is not easy to do just by yourself.
Dave, speaking of playing on the 20x44, I heard you got on court today with a football Hall of Famer. I want to hear all about that and the celebrity impact on the sport.
I think I rolled in here and was just, watching some great pickle, and then I got a call and said, hey, do you want to come play with Champ Bailey? I'm like, you're darn right I do. I don't have to answer that in less than 0.04 of a second. And you get out there, and the guy has heard about pickleball, and when you are a shutdown corner, I wanted to see if he could shut down the kitchen, and you're darn right that he can. So to have these guys out here playing has been terrific. Obviously, Matt, you have seen it as well. So the awareness we get from that and the willingness from entertainment properties and from big corporations to want to get involved in our sport is absolutely huge. So when Taylor Swift held a paddle, our entire industry lost its mind. So that is the value of what celebrity can do for pickleball.
Yeah, anything she does makes a huge impact. Right. A couple of champs out on court. Champ, and of course our own Dave Fleming. Dave, there's a couple players that are still alive for Triple Crowns, as well as multiple medals. Who do you think gets it done?
Well, you never bet against A.L. Dub, and now she's going to have a little thorn in her belly here from what happened today in that 12-10 win in Game 2. So she's going to roll. J.W. Johnson, I know it was wild over here. 8 match points it took them to win that, but when he plays singles, he brings a little extra aggression in there. I think he's going to be terrific tomorrow. In fact, if your name was Johns or Johnson today, except for Yates, that was the thing to be. Yeah. So look out for him tomorrow. He's very capable. It would be awesome if he has a chance to go for it on Sunday.
Multiple Johnson families doing well. Dave, thanks as always for taking some time to join us here on Pickleball Live. Keep up the great work. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Thanks a lot, guys. Peace.
The double deuce. Gotta love that. Still ahead, we will see how the Johns Bros did in men's doubles. Plus, imagine being able to create the perfect pickleball player. Whose serve are you taking? What about power? Matt and Cam construct the ultimate pickle machine when we return.